Divisions of the creation. Okay, 10th chapter, divisions of the creation, 3rd canto, 10th chapter. So in this way, Maitreya Vidura Sambad is going on. Maitreya is saying, after instructing Brahma, the creator of the universe, to expand, the personality of Godhead in his Narayana, form of Narayana, disappeared. Now again, Vidura has a question. Viduru Vacha. Antarhite Bhagavati Brahma Lokapitama Praja Sarja Katida Daihikir Manasir Vibhu. Now Vidura says, O great sage Maitreya, O great sage Maitreya, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the personality of God. Now, sub-creation. This is Sarga, now Visarga. Now, how Brahma created the bodies after the disappearance of the personality of God. Lord has given him the potency to create Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, then Mahat Tattva, everything has been given. How he has created the bodies. Ye chame Bhagavan Pushtas Tvayartha Bahu Vittam Tan Vadasvanu Purvena Chindina Sarva Samshayan. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to end. Anupurvena. Anupurvena means Anupurvena. That means from the beginning to end, I want to know. And Chindi. Chindi means kindly eradicate all my doubts. So in this way, I'm asking you this doubt. Prushtha means I'm asking you this doubt. Sutuvacha. So before Sutuvacha, let us see these two verses. Okay. Raksha, read first two.
Yes, Mataji. Chapter 10, Division of Creation. Shloka first. Viduruvacha Antahite Bhagavati Brahma Lokapitamaha Praja Sarjakatitha Dehakirmanas Dehikirmanasi Vibhu. Translation. Shri Vidura said, O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 2. ये च मे भगवत पृष्ठात् त्वयर्था बहुवित्तम तान वदस्वाननु पूर्वेण छिन्दिन सर्वसंशयान्. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. Vidura asked all relevant questions of Maitreya because he knew well that Maitreya was the right person to reply to all the points of his inquiries. One must be confident about the qualifications of his teacher. One should not approach a layman for replies to specific spiritual inquiries. Such inquiries, when replied to with imaginative answer by the teacher, are a program for wasting time. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sutuvacha. Now Vidura is asking to Maitreya. Now Sutuvacha, why? Because Suta Goswami is telling all these things, whatever he has heard from Sukadeva Goswami. So within the conversation, you will find another set of conversation. Sutuvacha. Evam sanchoditastena Shatra Kausharavir Munihi Pritah Pratyahatan Prashnan Hridisthanatha Bhargava. Suta Goswami says, Sanchoditaha is enlightenment. Who is enlightenment? That is Maitri Rishi's enlightenment by Vidura. Kausharaha, the son of uh, Kushara. Now here, the son of Kushara, Munihi, great sage, Pritaha, being pleased, Pratyaha replied. The son of Kushara was very much pleased by the question asked by Vidura. Prashnana Hridisthana, from the core of the heart, he was so happy. O son of Bhrigu. Who is son of Bhrigu? Bhargava. Who is son of Bhrigu? Now here, he is addressing this to, Suta Goswami is addressing this to Shaunakadi Rishi. O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitri Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another. So in this way, here Suta Goswami was speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka, a descendant of Sukadeva Goswami. So in this way here has been spoken. Now son of Bhrigu directly has been spoken. Actually Shaunaka Adi Rishi, they have been addressed. So Shaunaka is the son of Bhrigu Rishi. And Kushara's son is Maitri Muni. So anyhow, the question was relating to Krishna. Even we have seen this in the first canto, second chapter, first verse. After hearing the questions from the sages of Naimisharanya, Suta Goswami was very happy. Iti samplashna samrushto vipranam romaharshinim prati puja chashtesham pravaktum upachakrame. Vyasa says, hearing from the sages of Naimisharanya, Suta Goswami was very happy. Iti samprashna samrushto. Samrushta means very happy. In the same way here also, Kusharavaha, the son of Kusharavi, that is the son of Kushara, as Maitri Rishi, was so happy. Everything was there in his heart. The answers, everything is there. One by one, the answers are coming out. Okay. Bindu, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam Mataji. Text 3. Sutuvacha evam sanchodidastena shatra kausharavir muni pritaha pratyah tan prashnan riddhistan atha bhargavah. Translation. Suta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another. Purport. The phrase Sutuvacha, Sutu Goswami said, appears to indicate a break in the discourse between Maharaja Parikshit and Sukadev Goswami. While Sukadev Goswami was speaking to Maharaja Parikshit, Suta Goswami was only one member of a large audience, but Suta Goswami was speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by the sage Shaunaka, a descendant of Sukdev Goswami. This, however, does not make any substantial difference in the topics under discussion. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Next. Maitri Uvacha Virinchopi Tatha Chakre Divyam Varshashatam Tapah Atmanyat Atmanyatmanamaveshya Yatha Bhagavanajah. virinchopi tatha chakre. Virincha refers to Brahmaji. Api tatha, in this way, chakre performed. Divyam varshashatah tapaha, he performed divyam, celestial, varshashatam, 100 years, celestial years, he performed tapasya. Unto whom? Atmani, unto the Lord, Atmanam, his own self, Aveshya, engaging, Yatha aha, as it was spoken, Bhagavan Ajaha. So Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. So first what he did tapasya, and then he engaged himself in the devotional service to the Lord. The only tapasya is not going to work anything. So this is a message actually. There are some people who only engage themselves in tapasya, but without devotional service, nothing can be achieved. Even the siddhi to be achieved, it just doesn't work only by tapasya. To some extent, the siddhi will be there. Real siddhi is understanding our constitutional position. Rakshari,
Yes, ma'am. मैत्रेय उवाच विरिञ्चोऽपि तथा चक्रे दिव्यं वर्षशतं तपः आत्मन्या आत्मन् आवेश्य यथाह भगवानजः. The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penance for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. That Brahma engaged himself for the personality of Godhead, Narayan, means that he engaged himself in the services of the Lord. That is the highest penance one can perform for any number of years. There is no retirement from such service, which is eternal and ever encouraging. Hare Krishna.
तद्विलोक्याब्ज सम्भूते वायुना यद् अधिष्ठितः पद्मम् अम्भश्च तत्काल कृतवीर्येण कम्पितम्. Now Brahma, he saw both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing but trembling due to a strong, violent wind. So the lotus on which he was situated and the water in which the lotus was growing, and practically everything was trembling due to a strong, violent wind. Tatkala kritaha, which was affected by the eternal time. Virena, inherent force, kampitam, it was practically trembling. तपसा ह्येदमानेन यया चात्मसंस्थया विवृद्ध विज्ञानबलोऽन्यपात्
Hey, बल बंद कर
वायुं
दीजिए.
सहाम्भसा विवृद्ध विज्ञानबलो अन्यपात् वायुं सहाम्भसा तपसा ह्येदमानेन. His tapasya was increasing, and Vidyaya, his transcendental knowledge is also increasing. He is situated in his self,
Sayyidamaneena
Atma Samstaya.
Vidya Chatmasa.
Nidanjamati, mute your phone. Atma Samstaya, was situated in his self. Vivruddha Vijnana. So in this way, he is becoming matured by the practical knowledge. What is the practical knowledge? He was engaged in the devotional service. Balaha Anyapada. Balaha is his strength is also growing. And now what he did? He drank. Nyapada. He drank the wind along with the water. So he has got that power, long penance, transcendental knowledge of self-realization, had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. Prabhupada starts. Lord Brahma's struggle of existence is a personal example for a continued fight between the living entities in the material world, the illusory energy called Maya. Even Brahma also has to struggle for existence. Okay. Read fifth and sixth. Vrindanila Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. तद्विलोक्य तद्विलोक्याब्ज सम्भूतो वायुना यद् अधिष्ठितः पद्मम् अम्भश्च तत्काल कृतवीर्येण कम्पितम्. Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong, violent wind. Purport. The material world is called illusory because it is a place of forgetfulness of the transcendental service of the Lord. Thus, one engaged in the Lord's devotional service in the material world may sometimes be very much disturbed by awkward circumstances. There is a declaration of war between the two parties, the illusory energy and the devotee. And sometimes the weak devotees fall victim to the onslaught of the powerful illusory energy. Lord Brahma, however, was sufficiently strong by the causeless mercy of the Lord, and he could not be victimized by the material energy, although it gave him cause for anxiety when it managed to totter the existence of his position. Text says, Tapasa hi edhamanena vidyaya chatma samsthaya vivriddha vijnana balo nyapadvayum sahambhasa. Translation. Long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. Lord Brahma's struggle for existence is a personal example of the continued fight between the living entities in the material world and the illusory energy called Maya. Beginning from Brahma down to this age, the living entities are struggling with the forces of material nature. By advanced knowledge in science and transcendental realization, one can try to control the material energy which works against our endeavors. And in the modern age, advanced material scientific knowledge and penance have played very wonderful roles in controlling the powers of the material energy. Such control of the material energy, however, can be most successfully carried out if one is a soul surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and carries out his order in the spirit of loving transcendental service. Hare Krishna Mataji.
तद्विलोक्य वियद्व्यापी पुष्करं यत् अधिष्ठितम् अनेन लोकान् प्रागीनान् कल्पितास्मिति अचिन्तयत्. Tadvilokya, looking into that, Viyatvyapi, which was extensively spread, Pushkaram, the lotus, Yad, that which, Adhishtitam, in which he was situated, Anena, by this all the planets, Praklinan, previously merged in dissolution. Now I am going to create, he says, Kalpita Hasmihi. So what he thought when he looked at the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, he contemplated how to create all the planets which was previously merged in the same very lotus. Padmakosham tada vishya bhagavat karma choditah ekam vyabhangshi durudha ekam vyabhangshidurudha tridha bhavyam dvisaptadha. Padmakosham, the bowl of the lotus. Tada, then Avishya, entering into Bhagavat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Karma, in activities, Choditaha, being encouraged by Ekam, one, Vyabhangshite, divided into Urudha, great division, Tridha, three divisions, Bhavyam, capable of further creation, Dvisaptada, 14 divisions. Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Brahma entered into the bowl of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into three divisions of the world, and later into four divisions. 14 planetary systems we say. So Brahma divided this. 14 planetary systems were made. He entered the bowl And thus, by his causeless mercy towards Lord, he could do this. Okay. Raksha, read 7th and 8th.
Yes, Mataji. तद्विलोक्य वियद्व्यापी पुष्करं यद्धि स्थितम् अनेन लोकान् प्राग्लीनान् कल्पितास्मिन् त्वयचिन्तयत्. Translation. Thereafter he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe, and he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very same lotus. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. The seeds of all the planets in the universe were integrated in the lotus on which Brahma was situated. All the planets were already generated by the Lord, and all the living entities were also born in Brahma. The material world and the living entities were all already generated in seeding form by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Brahma was to disseminate the same seedling all over the universe. The real creation is therefore called Sarga, and later on the manifestation by Brahma is called Visarga. Loka 8. पद्मकोशं तदाविश्य भगवत्कर्मचो भगवत्कर्मचोदितः एकं व्यभाङ्क्षित उरुधा त्रिधा भाव्यं द्विसप्तधा. Translation. Thus engaged in the services of Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the wall of the lotus, and as it spread all over the universe, he divided it into 3 divisions of worlds and later into 14 divisions. Hare Krishna.
What Brahma did, it is not known as Visarga. The real creation is Sarga. 9th verse. एतावान् जीवलोकस्य संस्थाभेदः समारतः धर्मस्य हि अनिमित्तस्य विपाकः परमेष्ठियसौ. Etavan, up to this, Jivalokasya, of the planets inhabited by the living entities, Samsthavedaha, different situations of habitation, Samartah, performed completely, Dharmasya, of religion, is certainly, Animittasya, of causelessness, Vipakaha, mature stage, Parameshti, the highest personality in the universe, Asau, that Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causelessness, animittasya, causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary systems for inhabitation by the different types of living entities. So one becomes matured only by devotional service. So he is an exalted personality. So highest personality in the universe, Parameshthi. And why? Because Vipakah is matured because of his causeless devotional service. Animittasya Vipakah. And that is how he made a beautiful arrangement where all the living entities can stay. 14 planetary system according to their karmas. He made an arrangement for the different types of living entities to stay. Even to build a building, a society, a person needs qualification. Now just imagine, here 14 planetary systems were made by Brahmaji. Why that power has come? Because of his causeless devotional service. Binduri.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 9. एतावान् जीवलोकस्य संस्थाभेदः समारतः धर्मस्य ह्यनिमित्तस्य विपाकः परमेष्ठ्यसौ. Translation. Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for inhabitation by the different types of living entities. Purport: the Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all the qualities of the living entities. The conditioned souls in the material world reflect only part of those qualities, and therefore they are sometimes called pratibhimbas. These pratibimba, living entities, as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, have inherited different proportions of his original qualities. And in terms of their inheritance of these qualities, they appear as different species of life and are accommodated in different planets according to the plan of Brahma. Brahma is the creator of all the three worlds, namely the lower planets called Patal Lokas, the middle planets called the Bhur Lokas, and the upper planets called the Swar Lokas. Still higher planets such as Maharloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, and Brahmaloka do not dissolve in the devastating water. This is because of the causeless devotional service rendered unto the Lord by their inhabitants, whose existence continues up to the end of the Dvi Prarada time, when they are generally liberated from the chain of birth and death in the material world. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Now, Vidura wants to know about the time. The first question was what? I want to know how the things are created, how the planetary systems are created, how the living entities were situated, all these things. Now, I want to know about the time. Viduruvacha yathatha bahurupasya harer adbhuta karmanah कालाख्यं लक्षणं ब्रह्मन् यथा वर्णयः न प्रभो. So, bahurupasya, varieties of forms. Adbhuta, wonderful. Karmana, of the actor. Kala, time. Akhyam, of the name. Lakshanam. So I want to know, please describe. Please describe this time. I want to know. This is an eternal time. This eternal time is actually Rupasya Harehe. It is the form of Lord. Another form of Lord. And Lord is a wonderful actor. Karmanaha, Adbhuta Karmanaha. So what are the symptoms of Lakshana? What are the symptoms of that eternal time? Please describe them to us in detail. So one by one question is put. How this is all created. Now please describe about the eternal time. Okay. Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Vidur uvacha yathatha bahurupasya harer कालाख्यं लक्षणं ब्रह्मन् यथा वर्ण्यनः प्रभो. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O my lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of that eternal time? Please describe them to us in detail. The complete universe is a manifestation of varieties of entities, beginning from the atoms up to the gigantic universe itself, and all is under the control of the Supreme Lord and in his form of Kala or eternal time. The controlling time has different dimensions in relation to particular physical embodiments. There's a time for atomic dissolution and a time for the universal dissolution. There's a time for the annihilation of the body of the human being, and there is a time for the annihilation of the universal body. Also, growth, development, and resultant actions all depend on the time factor. Vidur wanted to know in detail the different physical manifestations and the times of annihilation. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Next. Maitrivacha गुणव्यतिकराकारो निर्विशेषो प्रतिष्ठितः पुरुषस्तदुपादानम् आत्मानं लीलया सृजतः. Maitreya says, Gunavyatikaran, Gunavyatikara, the interaction of the three modes of material nature. Akaraha, source. Nirvisheshaha, without diversity. Apratishthitaha, unlimited. Purushaha, of the Supreme Person. Tattva, Upadanam, instrument. Atmanam, the material creation. Leelaya, by past times. Asujat, created. Maitreya said, eternal time is the primal source of the interaction of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as an instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation. So time is the most powerful thing. Krishna says, Aham Kalosmi. This form of eternal, it is another form of the Supreme Personality of God. And by the interaction, what is eternal time? It is the primeval source of the interaction of the three modes of material nature. So when three modes of material nature, they interact with each other, it is actually the source also. It is the source for that, source of the interaction. Because of the eternal time, the three modes of material nature, they interact with each other. And how is the time? Time is unchangeable, time is limitless, and it is actually an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Personality of God for his pastimes. What Lord does, he uses this time. So what is time? That is the question asked. So first is what? It is the source of the interaction of the three modes of material nature. It is limitless. It's a powerful instrument in the hand of Krishna. Okay. Bindu, read.
Text 11. मैत्रेयवाचा गुणव्यक्तीकराकारो निर्विशेषो प्रतिष्ठितः पुरुषस्तद् उपादानम् आत्मानं लीलया सृजत्. Translation. Maitreya said, eternal time is the primeval source of the interactions of the three modes of material nature. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pastimes in the material creation. Purport. The impersonal time factor is the background of the material manifestation as the instrument of the Supreme Lord. It is the ingredient of assistance offered to material nature. No one knows where time began and where it ends, and it is time only which can keep a record of the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material manifestation. This time factor is the material cause of creation and is therefore a self expansion of the personality of Godhead. Time is considered the impersonal feature of the Lord. The time factor is also explained by modern men in various ways. Some accept it almost as it is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. For example, in Hebrew literature, time is accepted in the same spirit as a representation of God. It is stated therein, God who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. Metaphysically, time is distinguished as absolute and real. Absolute time is continuous and is unaffected by the speed of or slowness of material things. Time is astronomically and mathematically calculated in relation to the speed, change, and life of a particular object. Factually, however, time has nothing to do with the relativity of things. Rather, everything is shaped and calculated in terms of the facility offered by time. Time is the basic measurement of the activity of our senses, by which we calculate past, present, and future. But in factual calculation, time has no beginning and no end. Pandita, Pandita Chanakya says that even a slight fraction of time cannot be purchased with millions of dollars, and therefore, even a moment of time lost without profit must be calculated as the greatest loss in life. Time is not subject to any form of psychology, or nor are the moments objective rela- realities in themselves, but they are dependent on particular experiences. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami concludes that the time factor is intermixed with activities actions and reactions of the external energy of the Lord. The external energy or material nature works under the superintendence of the time factor as the Lord Himself, and that is why material nature appears to have produced so many wonderful things in the cosmic manifestation. Bhagavad Gita 9.10 confirms this conclusion as follows. Maya dakshena prakritihi suyate sa characharam etunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So time is again a material. Time is eternal. It is eternal. But it is an external energy only. Time factor is intermixed with the activities, actions, and reactions of the external energy. You cannot call it time as an internal energy. It is an external energy only. Because it is a source for the three modes of material nature. How this material world is functioning because of the time. It's a form of Krishna. So, external energy or the material nature works under the superintendence of the time factor as the Lord Himself. So time is another form of Krishna, simple. Time is used for interaction in this material modes of material in this for this material world. Time functions on the material people, Kala Shakti. For the devotees who have crossed this three modes of material nature, there is nothing influence of there is no influence of time there. There is no influence of time in Vaikuntha. There is no influence of space in Vaikuntha. Time and space, it is beyond time and space. Kala Shakti is only for the materialistic people. If a person doesn't have time for chanting, okay, the time says I'll function on you. Vishwam vai brahmatan matram samsthitam Vishnu Maya. Ishwarena parichinnam kalena vyaktamurtina. Vishwam, this material phenomenon, Brahma, the Supreme. Brahma, here Brahma, the Supreme. Tadmatram, the same as Samsthitam, situated, Vishnu Maya, by the energy of Vishnu. Ishwarena, by the personality of God. Parichinna, separated. Kalena, by the eternal time. Avyaktaha, unmanifested. Murtina, by such a feature. This cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as a material energy by means of Kala, which is unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. So now see how nice Kala is described. It is unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. And that is how this cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as material energy. It is called as material energy by Kala. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu. So it is Kala which separates the material energy from the Supreme Lord. Or you can say it's a Kala which is separating the material world from the spiritual world. What is the difference between material world and the spiritual world? It is Kala. Kala which separates. Kala has no influence in the spiritual world, but it has influence in the material. Thus a difference is created by Kala. So it is an objective manifestation of the Lord. Because of the influence of Vishnu Maya, Krishna's Maya, Krishna's energy. So it is an objective manifestation. Vishnu Maya, because of Krishna's energy. Krishna's one of the energy is Kala Shakti. Okay. Bindu read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 12. Vishwam vai brahman tad matram samstitam Vishnu Mayaya Ishwarena parichinnam kalena vyakta murtina. Translation. This cosmic manifestation is separated from the Supreme Lord as material energy by means of Kala, which is the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Lord. It is situated as the objective manifestation of the Lord under the influence of the same material energy of Vishnu. Purport: as stated previously by Narada before Vyasadeva, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.20, Idam hi Vishwam Bhagavan Ivetara. This unmanifested world is the self-same personality of Godhead, but it appears to be something else beyond or besides the Lord. It appears so because of its being separated from the Lord by means of Kala. It is something like the tape recorded voice of a person who is now separated from the voice. As the tape recording is situated on the tape, so the whole cosmic manifestation is situated on the material energy and appears separated by means of Kala. The material manifestation is therefore the objective manifestation of the Supreme Lord and exhibits his personal features so much adored by the impersonalist philosophers. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mhm. Nice example is given. The voice is recorded. Now that is separated from the person is separated from the voice. So here, as a tape recording is situated on the tape, is something like the tape recorded voice of a person who is now separated from the voice. So now the tape recording is where is on the tape. So the whole cosmic manifestation is situated on the material energy and appears separate by Kala. Actually, it was done by means of Kala only. The whole material creation happened because of the time. But it seems that it is separated from the time. It is done by the time only. Like the voice recording is done by a person. But that is separate now from the person. In the same way, the whole creation is done by the means of Kala. Krishna has done that. But again, it is separated by means of Kala. Nice example is given. Ethedanim tatha grecha paschadapyetadidrisham. When one line is given, that means it's a conclusion now. This cosmic manifestation is as it is now. Etha idanim tatha agrehe. It was the same in the past. It will continue the same in the future. It is the same. Cosmic manifestation is same. It seems to be separate, but that is done by the Kala. And it is the same what was done in the past. It's the same which is done in the future. It will be same that will be done in the future also. Okay. Next we'll read. Sargo navavidhastasya prakuto vaikrutastu yaha kala dravya gunairasya trividah pratikhankramah. Sarga navavidha. There are different 9 different kinds of creation. Besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interaction of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilation due to eternal time, the material elements and the quality of one's work. So there are 9 creations, 9 kinds of creation and 3 kinds of annihilation due to eternal time, material elements and the quality of one's work. Okay. So that is given here. Read Vrindavan Lila Mataji, read.
Yathedanim tathagre cha paschadapi etat idrisham. This cosmic manifestation is as it is now. It was the same in the past, and it will continue in the same way in the future. There's a systematic schedule for the perpetual manifestation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.8. Bhutagramam imam kitsnam avasham prakate vasa. As it is created now, and as it will be destroyed later on, so also it existed in the past and again will be created, maintained, and destroyed in due course of time. Therefore, the systematic activities of the time factor are perpetual and eternal, and cannot be stated to be false. The manifestation is temporary and occasional, but it is not false as claimed by other Mayavadi philosophers. 14. Sargo navavidhastasya prakrito vaikritastu yaha kaladravya gunairasya trividaha pratishana kramaha. There are 9 different kinds of creations besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interactions of the modes. There are 3 kinds of annihilations due to eternal time, the material elements, and the quality of one's work. The scheduled creations and annihilations take place in terms of the supreme will. There are other creations due to the interactions of material elements which take place by the intelligence of Brahma. Later, these will be more explicitly explained. At present, only preliminary information is given. The 3 kinds of annihilations are due to the scheduled time of the annihilation of the entire universe. Second, due to a fire which emanates from the mouth of Ananta. And third, due to one's qualitative actions and reactions. Hare Krishna.
3 types of destruction is there. One is the destruction of the end of Brahma's life. 100 years over, there is a destruction, big destruction, massive destruction. And then one is every day one destruction happens. End of day of Brahma, one destruction happens. Then one is individual bodies by their karmas. That is one destruction. So in this way, the second destruction is by Ananta. Every day one day of Brahma is over, one destruction. And then the destruction of individual bodies by karma. And the destruction at the end of Brahma's life. And there are 9 types of creation. The 10th has been given here. The 10th is the creation of Devatas. It's a combination of elemental creation and a creation by Brahma. So anyhow, so there are 9 types, and the 10th type is a combination of material creation and Brahma's creation. So that is why it is given here. Besides the one which naturally occurs due to the interaction of the modes. That means the Devatas are involved in it. The creation in which Devatas are also involved, material creation, combination, everything. And 9 creation is by Brahma. Sub-creation. Adyastu mahata sarvo gunavaishyamyamatmanah dvitiyastava yatra dravya jnana kriyodayah Adyastu mahata sarvo gunavaishamyam atmanah dvitiyastvahamo yatra dravya jnana kriyodayah Adyahu. Of the 9 creation, the first one is the creation of the Mahatattva, or the sum total of material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. Second is the false ego, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, material activities arise. That's why here it is given. Among the 9, now first 2 have been spoken. What is that first? First one is creation of the Mahatattva, how the whole thing is created. So without Mahatattva, how the material energy will be created? So first is the Mahatattva. And then next is what? The false ego. So in this way, step by step, how the creation is happening has been described. Bhuta sargas tritiyastu tanmatro dravya shaktiman chaturtha indriya sargo yastu jnana kriyatmakah. Then the sense perceptions are the third creation. And then in this, from here, the elements are generated. Panchabhut. The fourth is the creation of knowledge and the working capacity. Okay. Next, 17th. Vaikarikos deva sargo panchamo yan mayam manah Shashtastu tamasah sargo yastvat yastvabuddhi krita prabhu. The fifth creation is that of the controlling deities, of the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total. So controlling deities of the interaction of the modes of goodness, of which mind is the sum total. Ego has happened, now mind. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entities, by which the master acts as a fool. So in this, the sixth creation happened. Okay. So 6 are elemental and 3 are by Brahma. So 6 has been created by Lord himself and 3 are by Brahma. 9 types of creation. Mahatattva is done by Lord. Brahma comes later. Lord glances the Mahatattva. That is why of the 9, 3 are known as elemental. Elemental means this is the primary creation. And then afterwards 3 are sub-creations. So now just see that first 6, what are there? Mahatattva is there. And then the modes, the first one is the Mahatattva. The second one is the false ego. The third one is the elements, are the elements. Third. And the fourth is the knowledge, working capacity, creation knowledge. Fifth is the controlling deities. That is the devatas, everything in this mind. And the sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entities. Next 3 will be created by Brahma. First 6 is elemental creation. Elemental means this is important now for the sarga. Okay. Lila Mataji, read.
I should start from 15. आद्यस्तु महतः सर्गो गुणा वैष्म्यम् आत्मनः द्वितीयस्त्व अहमो यत्र द्रव्यज्ञान क्रियोदयः. Of the 9 creations, the first one is the creation of the Mahat Tattva, or the sum total of the material ingredients, wherein the modes interact due to the presence of the Supreme Lord. In the second, the false ego is generated, in which the material ingredients, material knowledge, and material activities arise. The first emanation from the Supreme Lord for material creation is called the Mahat Tattva. The interaction of the material modes is the cause of false identification, or the sense that a living being is made of material elements. This false ego is the cause of identifying the body and mind with the soul proper. Material resources and the capacity and knowledge to work are all generated in the second term of creation after the Mahatattva. Gyan indicates these senses which are source of knowledge and their controlling deities. Work entails the working organs and their controlling deities. All these are generated in the second creation. Bhuta
Wait,
Sargas. Yes,
wait.
Mataji.
So the first is what? All the gunas.
Mahatattva.
Characterized by the appearance of Mahatattva, the gunas and all stuff. In the second creation, what came? Ahankara came. 5 gross elements came. Dravya, that is Panchabhutaha. Knowledge gaining senses have come. Devatas have come. Mind has come. Kriya Shakti has come. Now third. Okay, 16th. Read.
भूतसर्गस्तृतीयस्तु तन्मात्रो द्रव्यशक्तिमान् चतुर्था इन्द्रियः सर्गो यस्तु ज्ञानक्रियात्मकः. The sense perceptions are created in the third creation, and from these the elements are generated. The fourth creation is the creation of knowledge and of working capacity. 17. वैकारिको देवसर्गः पञ्चमो यन्मयं मनः षष्ठस्तु तमसः सर्गो यस्त्व अबुद्धि कृतः प्रभो. The fifth creation is that of the controlling deities by the interaction of the mode of goodness, of which the mind is the sum total. The sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entity by which the master acts as a fool. Purport: the demigods in the higher planets are called Devas because they are all devotees of the Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Bhaktah Smrito Daiva Asuras Tat Viparayah. All the devotees of Lord Vishnu's are Devas or demigods, whereas all others are Asuras. That is the division of the Devas and the Asuras. Devas are situated in the mode of goodness of material nature, whereas the Asuras are situated in the modes of passion or ignorance. The demigods or controlling deities are entrusted with departmental management of all the different functions of the material world. For example, one of our sense organ, the eye, is controlled by light. Light is distributed by the sun rays, and their controlling deity is the sun. Similarly, mind is controlled by the moon. All other senses, both are working and for acquiring knowledge, are controlled by the different demigods. The demigods are assistants of the Lord in the management of material affairs. After the creation of the demigods, all entities are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Each and every living being in the material world is conditioned by his mentality of lording it over the resources of material nature. Although a living entity is the master of the material world, he is conditioned by ignorance, by the false impression of being the proprietor of material things. The energy of the Lord, called avidya, is the bewildering factor of the conditioned souls. The material
Avidya,
nature.
five aspects. Avidya. There is
Yes.
5 types of ignorance. That is avidya, asmitaha, raga, dvesha, abhiniveshaha. These are all the 5 types of ignorance. Hmm.
The
Last
energy
time
of
we saw
the.
the avidya. Last time we
Yes.
saw avidya, asmitaha. That means forgetfulness of our identity. Raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, the fear of death. Okay.
The energy of the Lord, called avidya, is the bewildering factor of the conditioned souls. The material nature is called avidya or ignorance. But to the devotees of the Lord engaged in pure devotional service, this energy becomes vidya or pure knowledge. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The energy of the Lord transforms from Mahamaya to Yogamaya and appears to pure devotees in her real feature. The material nature therefore appears to function in 3 phases: as the creative principle of the material world, as ignorance, and as knowledge. As disclosed in the previous verse, in the fourth creation, the power of knowledge is also created. The conditioned souls are not originally fools, but by the influence of the avidya function of material nature, they are made fools, and thus they are unable to utilize knowledge in the proper channel. By the influence of darkness, the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord and is overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification, the 5 kinds of illusion that cause material bondage. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Stop here. Any questions?
Mataji.
Yeah.
Of course, this creation section I need to reread at least 10 times to understand properly. But before that, Mataji, in I think.
This is the elemental creation. What are the elements created? That is all coming. Till the mind, till the ego, till the devatas, controlling devatas, all. That's all in the hands of. Now, after that, the bodies of the living entities and all those things, sub-creation. That will come later. But till devatas, till the mind, till the ego, everything has been created by Krishna. That is elemental creation, initial creation.
In seventh verse, Mataji, it was mentioned that every living entity, even the different lokas, they were all present as seedling. Then does it imply that that any soul will remain in the same Brahmand? It cannot change.
Why he should remain in the same Brahmanda? It is up to Krishna, na, where he has to give put him. Yes, Brahma is giving him in this Brahmanda. the living entities. Now the next Brahmandas people, can they come here? That is your question. Or can we go to
Yes.
another Brahmanda?
Yes, yes, yes.
It is up to Lord.
Of
Generally, the
course.
same thing has been given.
Mhm.
Generally, it will not be changing because it is said. It is same in the beginning, it is same in the future. It has been given very clearly. Now,
Yes,
in this Brahmanda going up and down, there is one thing is there, going up, going down, and going back home, back to God. Generally, from here to there, how can we jump? That is one question. But if Krishna wants us to jump, then then we cannot say anything.
of course.
It's
मतलब
up to
मीन्स
Lord.
माता जी हम 14 प्लेनेटरी जो बनाए
उसी
हैं उसमें अप डाउन कर सकते हैं,
उसी में ही कर रहे हैं,
उसी में कर
उसी
रहे
Mhm.
हैं।
में कर रहे हैं, यहाँ से निकलने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। फिर भगवत धाम में जाने के बाद उनकी मर्जी है और कहाँ डालना है,
हाँ सही
क्योंकि
बात।
बाकी सब तो बाकी एनिलेशन में क्या होता है, सभी लोग सब ब्रह्मा तो आ जाते हैं ना, हर एक ब्रह्मांड के ब्रह्मा लोग सब लोग भगवान के उदर में चले जाते हैं। सबको अपना अपना सेट दिया है, दिस इज योर सेट, दिस इज योर सेट, द प्लेइंग कार्ड्स, दिस इज योर प्लेइंग कार्ड, यू कैन मेक हाउस, यू कैन ड्रॉप इट, तो सबको दे दिया है। बट अगेन we cannot say that we cannot go there. It's up to Krishna's discretion
Of course.
whether he
But
wants
as
us
a
to go
general
or not.
principle, it's
General
very
principle, Krishna will not mix. Generally, he will not mix. Why should he mix? Then there will be a confusion. But it is up to again Krishna.
true. And Mataji, I did not understand the meaning of Dvi Praradha time in ninth verse.
Ah,
I'll
the
just,
ninth verse. What is given?
I'll
Dvi.
just
Ah,
Dvi Parardha time. This in the last sentence it's there, Mataji. This is because of the causeless devotional service rendered unto the Lord by their inhabitants, whose existence continues up to the end of Dvi Parardha time, when they are
Prarabdha.
generally liberated.
Dvi Prarabdha. One Prarabdha is the one first day. No. Dvi Prarabdha. Sorry. Dvi Prarabdha means 50 years is one Prarabdha. Next
Oh,
50 is another
okay.
Prarabdha.
Means half.
Dviprad,
It's ref
after two prarth,
Dvi is
one
referring
and
to second, and Prardha means half. Like that?
second half. Yes, second half.
Okay, Dvi Prardha time.
One prarth, dviprarth.
Okay. Got it, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्णा, धनुष प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज।